Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Business. I am your host, Sean Leary. New host. Some of you may recognize me from the Ben Verga episode we did last year while John was away on paternity leave. John has left for New England Village, so I will be taking the reins from here on out. We wish him the best of luck at his new job as the VP over there, and you can look forward to me hosting every episode from now on. So, with that, today I am joined by Amanda Maloney of Abundant Transformations LLC.
Yes. Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, Sean.
Thank you. And why don't you give us a little bit of background about yourself and tell us about Abundant Transformations?
Sure. Well, again, my name is Amanda Maloney, and I grew up on the South Shore. I grew up with my family in Quincy, and then we moved to Weymouth, and I went to private Catholic schools. So we had a lot of discussions with my dad about, true meaning of life. It was kind of, I can imagine sitting around the kitchen table talking with him for hours about that. And I just never knew, wasn't really into school. I didn't know what I wanted to do after I graduated. And after I did, I went on and got my associates in computer science and immediately went full-time. I worked in the financial industry and then ended up that was in the city, and got back to the South Shore for an IT staffing firm, and I was there for 14 years. So we did mostly project work. I was project coordinator and then project delivery manager. And after I had my son, we did so many nights and weekends. It was, you'd have to get into a company when it was closed to refresh the systems and whatnot. So after I had my son, I was just, it was a lot. So I ended up going back to project coordinating. I stayed there, but just gave up the nights and weekends. And with that came a cut, and, no more commissions, no more. So it started getting a little bit hard. But then after my daughter was born 3 years later, just the cost of daycare and everything, it just wasn't making sense for us anymore. So I ended up, embarking on a whole bunch of different part-time, positions, from retail to all different kinds of jobs. So after that, I ended up, when my daughter was born, did some part-time. And it wasn't until 2017, my father passed away. So that was, devastating.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And then it just kind of got me on that path again of, true meaning of life. And I ended up going back full-time, and I had to take a clerical position. I had been out of, the work industry for a long time. So, there wasn't much pay. It's I was at 2 weeks vacation with, a mother of two, and, I was married, obviously. We had moved to Marshfield by then. And it was just hard. Things became a struggle, and I just found that, I don't know, I was just stressed out, overwhelmed, yelling at my kids, just wasn't in, a good place. And then all of a sudden, 2020 hits, and, the world stops, obviously. So we have this pandemic, and I was still reporting to the office, worried about my kids, homeschooling, and just, got kind of caught up. We weren't doing where to buy toilet paper, right?
Right,
It's
exactly.
It was crazy, yeah. So I started one night. I was just researching, and I'm on Google, just trying to find ways to have a positive mindset. So I'm going through, and I'm reading this article about relieving stress, and all of a sudden this ad pops up. And it was never used to be an ad, it's something about it. And I'm looking at it, and this red-haired guy from Australia is talking about something called a superconscious recode that's, changing lives around the world. And it just really piqued my interest. So I ended up going through the whole ad, and after a bunch of research, I went back and I was looking it up, I had done some things, and then I ended up joining this masterclass that he had, and I loved it. I was hooked. And I liked it so much that I went on and got certified in the work. And then that brings me to opening my own coaching business, which was probably about a year ago. And that's called Abundant Transformations LLC. And I love it. I'm still kind of in the, beginning stages, but it's been great.
That's wonderful.
Really happy with it. Yeah.
What kind of things do you work with your clients on?
So it's really so new. So what I first did was I ran a live course. So I did have, it's all virtual. So we did a whole virtual course and ran that live, which was great. So it's all the, science-backed, information that you need in this foundational training. And we go through, it's just all about mindset shifting. So, and just the benefits. And it's so simple, but it just makes a world of difference. And it's, an example I like to use is say losing weight. People get focused on a problem I just want to lose some weight and, focused on that 10 pounds. And we just try to shift your mindset into, what if you didn't focus on the weight? What if you just said, I want to create a healthy body I love? And then all of a sudden, like all your energy, everything goes behind what you want to create. So that can work in relationships. It can work in career. It can work in money. It's like so many of us get caught up like I was in, scarcity and the debt and the bills are coming in. And it's so hard to think abundantly when it's like you have all these bills.
Right.
So, but when you just learn, to live, you just have to like make those steps. And his thing, which was called this superconscious recode, that really kind of, sucked me in, is just this like 5-step method that you go through and you choose what you want to create. Then you go into the emotional end result of it. So it's like I'd guide you through, you just close your eyes, you kind of guide yourself into whatever it is you want to create. Mm-hmm. Then you unpack, we call it. So you just kind of observe like what it's like now compared to that. So that's when all your little like resistance pops up, like the 10 pounds, the this, that. And then we recode it, which is a superconscious recode. And it's not like I am no different than any other person out there. It's just something I learned to do, and everyone can learn to do it. But you use intuition and muscle testing, and you kind of you tap into what we call the superconscious field. Some people call it a unified field, or like one consciousness, a cloud of possibility. I forget what, a lot of different names for it. But we just, with you have to, people have free will. So it's like you have to, give me permission. And then I just use like intuition and muscle testing, and we connect and just, help release like some of the things that are holding you back. Mm-hmm. So it's like when you go through that process, you have the resistance popping up, and then your superconscious field is just like this field that has no feelings, no anything, and it literally is just constantly sending information, what I call like your seeds. Then, you can just like let go of the resistance. And then the last thing is you have to take an action step, because if you don't like stay in flow and continue with it, then, it's not going to work. But if an action step could be so simple as the next day saying, you know what, like say we're using the weight thing, you're creating a healthy body. The next day, literally just change one snack. You know what, I'm going to add vegetables today. And it's like you start teaching your unconscious, like just these little steps that you take. And, the more you do it, you just stay in momentum. And really, I've seen like huge results. I'm using like little examples here, but I know that there's someone who, he had a stroke and had lost like eyesight, and was one of the first people. And this is why, the man I went through started doing this, and he can now see. Like once you're, focused on just creating health, it's like all of a sudden, it's this like crazy thing, like his vision came back.
That's wonderful.
So yeah, it's pretty amazing. And there's been so many different things, like that. It's literally life-changing, and I'm on such a small scale of it starting, but, through my class, I've had, such positive feedback, and even the stuff I've created, where I thought I would be, years ago, and what I've done now is like pretty amazing. So I love it.
We can definitely relate to that action step part here.
Yes.
Because we get people all the time that come in, they have these fantastic ideas, and then we don't hear from them again.
Yep.
They come in, they're like excited, they're ready to do something, or they think they are. And I can't blame people. Like, it's a time-consuming thing to create content, obviously.
Yes.
But many people start, putting pen to paper, start recording things. But a lot of people, they have all these great ideas, and then they vanish.
Well, you know what, Sean? We can recode that.
Well, when we get those people, we'll send them your way.
Exactly. I know. It is true, though. It's crazy. And what I was talking about, like earlier too, with the seed, like one explanation I love to use is like if you have, say, an apple seed, it's like what's in that seed, right? It's like it's an apple. We can't see it, but you plant it, you nurture it, you do whatever, and you get the apples, right? You get the tree. But if you have an apple seed and a carrot seed in the same soil, they grow the same, everything you're nurturing it, you do whatever you need to do, one still grows apples and one still grows carrots. So it's like that superconscious field is what's filling our seeds. So in whatever your thoughts are, like thoughts truly turn into things. Like everything, in this whole universe has come from a thought, right? Obviously not every single thought we think, comes to reality, but it's the ones that, they just don't go away. So it's like whatever you've like fed yourself, if it's scarcity, if it's, the weight, if it's all these problems, it's like we run on repeat with our unconscious mind. So even though we might say, oh, I want money, like I used to do the law of attraction, I tried all these different things, and it's like, it's not going to manifest because you don't have that like feeling behind it. So it's not like that right ingredient in that seed. So it's like a lot about, that's where the visualization comes in, because we do a lot of meditations and stuff. And it's because you need the feeling. It's like, if you don't have the feeling, it's not going to come. So it's like you can try to be it all you want, but until you can really feel it and see it and take those action steps, it's not going to happen.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So I love the name Abundant Transformations. Where does that come from?
So it was so hard. Actually, I came up with so many different things. I was trying, the shift is real. Shift happens. Like, I was going down kind of a funny, path at first. But what I was trying to accomplish is that mindset really can transform your whole life. Mm-hmm. So if you're not thinking abundantly, you can't be abundant.
Right.
So that's kind of what I ended up settling at.
That's great.
Yeah.
So say I'm a client and I walk through your door or I contact you.
Yes.
What's like kind of the first thing you're going to do with me?
So the first thing I would really suggest is taking the course. It's literally, I think it's 10, including my intro, it's probably like 9 other classes in the half hour. You can do them at your own pace. It's all, recorded. It gives you that like foundational information, because once you have like the tools about mindset shifting and you understand it, then a regular session, you could do a one-on-one session. And that would be, so say you wanted to do something like that, you would contact me. We would set up a Zoom, and I would just start by, like little introductions. And then you just have to start with what you want to create. It's like we try not to focus on problems at all. So it's like if, a lot of people come because it's like you're, it's a coach. It's like you're trying to get better at something. But that's the first thing. We would just sit and say, okay, so what is it that you're trying to create? Because a lot of times, even myself, when I was like a client, I remember you going like, oh my God, the week I had and this and that. And it's like, okay, as soon as you say that, that's fine. Like, it's not, you can say that. And then we stop and we say, okay, so what is it you're trying to create?
Right.
Like that happens, and that's going to come up when, we unpack your resistance. But what is it that, we got to stay focused. So that's what we do. We'll go through, what you want to create. And then, like I said, we'll do some unpacking and have all that resistance pop up. I'll go through you have to close your eyes, and we go through a little bit of feeling and feeling into it, then recode those resistance, and just make sure you're like accountable for some kind of action step to take.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you've been doing this for about a year, you said?
I have, yes. I kind of went on a different, so I started a year ago. It took a while, starting a business is my first time. I have never been an entrepreneur, so it was longer going than I thought. With the websites and just the class. And so I was really gung-ho, recorded my class, and that took me until like December. And then I was going to jump right into, doing the other coaching. And all of a sudden I was inspired to write a book. So I kind of stopped for a couple of months. I wrote my book, and that I'm super excited about. I have that here.
Yeah, hold that up for the camera.
Yes. Mom Mindset Mastery, Igniting Your Superconscious Swagger.
I love the cover.
Yes, isn't that cool?
The color on that is beautiful.
I know. I got a graphic designer. She's amazing. So I ended up writing that, and I think that sparked from, I was just like, just my own friends, having dinners, doing whatever, and I'm just like out and about, and I just found like mothers, like even at work, no matter where I was, and this, don't let the title fool you, because every single thing in that book is good for anyone. I have, husbands who've read it that are like raving about it. But it's just like I talk to people, and you're just so we get so caught up in just overwhelm. It's like schedules are busy. The kid. It's like you're just living for your family, and you kind of forget your own little purpose. And I mean, being a mother is great, and I think that's everybody's probably first job, priority. But you can do that, and I think what people forget is you can do both. You can do both at the same time, and there's like so many just practical tips and different things you can find in the book that literally you can just do every day. Like simple things that you're in the car or you're wherever, just ways and strategies. So I felt super compelled to write that. So that's where I went for a while, and that just came out in April, and it's available on Amazon. I did
Wonderful.
Through Amazon. And so now I'm, gung-ho on getting back into the coaching. So I ran a 3-day event this week, kind of got back into things. So we did a 3-day summer mindset transformation challenge, and just created, the summer that we want to create. Just put out there everything we want to do. I know years ago, come August, you'd look back and say, I had this whole list of things I wanted to do this summer, and it's gone, that. So I just wanted to, help people just focus on yourself, pick things you want to do, and just make it non-negotiable. And it can be as simple as a beach walk, or it could be planning a trip. And, if you don't have the money now or something, then you could actually just go on a road trip. You do something like that's an action step to teach yourself, like, oh, I do want to experience new things. It's like, you can actually go to a different town, to a brand new restaurant, and, feel abundant and have fun and try something new and start saving money for, the big thing. It doesn't mean you can't do anything,
Right.
So just trying to help people incorporate just how to have some fun this summer, no matter what you budget, even if you're working, or, put some non-negotiables on the calendar, and we signed a little commitment letter to ourselves. I did it too. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'll have to check out your book. My wife and I just had our first child.
Oh,
congratulations.
congratulations.
Not too long ago. Thank you.
That's exciting.
So we're trying to wrestle
Yes.
with all that. Like,
Yep.
how do we fit all these things we need to do in? And,
Yep.
it's been a journey.
That's amazing.
So I will check
Yes.
that out.
Great.
What do you expect what do you hope for the next year as you kind of continue on with this?
Yes. So now I want to start like building, my regular clients. I definitely want to do group coaching. That's what I did when I was in the other program, and I loved it. I think it's so important to have a community of like-minded people. You can get easily sucked into, drama here and there. And I know me, for one, I used to watch my social media feed back then and just, looking at all these perfect families on the perfect vacations and, all these
Doom
things.
scrolling.
Yes, exactly. So, I just like to start the group coaching, get people together. It's very, very, very like informal. And I think it's so helpful to be vulnerable and to have other people in the same boat. It's like once you realize we're all just, it might be different, but we're all just going through challenges. That's the human journey, right?
Right.
So I want to get into the group coaching. That's going to start in the fall. Definitely, like down the line, I want to do some in-person things like retreats and things like that. So I'd like to, collaborate with some other personal development people. And that's my vision so far.
Wonderful. Yeah. I feel like there's such an appetite right now in media for some like real. Because I think we're all hyper aware that like so much is fake on the internet.
Yes.
Like, you scroll and you see, like you said, all these perfect families doing all these wonderful things, and who knows if any of that's actually real.
Right.
Like, it's how easy is it to get together for like a quick snapshot of your life, right, and make it look like it's perfect, and just pretend, right, especially with the advent of AI. But that's a whole nother conversation, folks. So that's wonderful. I think I imagine it's going to go really well for you because people really want real.
Yep.
They want to feel like they're not alone. I
Right.
imagine they want to probably have the mindset to improve
Yes.
whatever it is they're
Yep.
doing in their life.
Yep.
These events, you just said you did like a 3-day event. Was that in person or was
So
that?
this one was virtual. I don't have office space right now. It's like
Okay.
obviously I would need to, get some clientele and build up some, but I would like to do that in the future. And like I said, I would definitely do like retreats or an in-person event. I would love to do that. I just haven't done it yet. But it's on it's on the horizon.
Awesome.
Yes.
And how are you guys? How are you promoting yourself? Kind of like on social media. Where can people find you?
So I have a website, Abundant Transformations LLC.com. I know it is long, so bookmark it. Just put it in once. And I have social media. And it's all through, like I have Facebook, I have Instagram, everything's on my website. You can just click a link, LinkedIn. And I have run, some ads. Like I said, I've really been so busy in pre-recording the course first and then writing the book. So I'm just kind of start diving into that. But yeah, I'm excited.
It's wonderful. Are there busier times so far for you than others?
So far it's all been very busy because it's brand new. But I would think, maybe the fall or around the holidays, sometimes in January. I think it would be, fall in line with personal development, like, when the exercise gears up and that kind of stuff.
New Year's.
Yeah,
all those resolutions.
exactly. Right,
Yeah.
right. Yep.
If I know you're still pretty early in this,
Yes.
but if you were to jump back a year or so ago and give yourself some advice, what would you say about this and starting this?
Yes, I would say you have to be it before you see it. That was some advice I got, and I just live by it because if you can't see yourself doing it, it's never going to happen. You know,
Right.
and just like those seeds I was talking about, it's like you have to be what you want to do first and go for it. I think myself and so many people out there are afraid of failure, afraid of judgments, afraid of. And it's like, that's just part of life. It's like, if it doesn't work, oh, well, it's like good for you to try and now you learn something and move on and try the next thing. So I think most people are, understand that nothing's always going to work out perfectly. And I think it's just more like our judgments of ourselves, even though we're afraid of, what the people are going to think. Yeah.
I feel like it's probably easy. We all, I feel like, think everyone else has everything all together.
Yes.
And I don't think that's true.
No, and I do think that's the society.
Yeah.
It's like it's just been how it is, and that's what this whole work is just focused on: not problem solving. You are not broken, and it's just getting back to taking your power back and realizing the power of choice, because we all have a choice. There's so many people that will say, "Oh, if I could do it all over again, I would do this," or if I could, it's like, well, you know what, you can. You know what, actually you can. Is it going to take a little time or put some effort in, but you can certainly do it right now, or just find other ways to, I wish I had been an artist or a singer. It's like, what's stopping you from singing now?
Yeah, right.
Basically you can sing in the shower, for God's sakes. It's like, you can do anything. So it's just about, finding what's important to you and bringing it back.
Right. Like just because you're not going to be Celine Dion doesn't mean you can't sing, right?
Exactly. Yep.
So what's something that people might not understand about the mindset coaching industry that you'd like them to probably know more about?
Yes, I think it is the, like I was saying, between the problem solving or the you're not broken, because the personal development field, I just feel like is focused on that. It's like everybody comes in to fix a problem. And when I tell you I've done everything, I've done like hypnosis, EFT, NLP, Reiki, law of attraction, like you name it, I've tried it, and they all work. And it's like they've worked for a short period of time, and then it's like it kind of stops. And I really think the whole reason is because of mindset. So I think all of those things work, and they should be out there. But I feel like you just have to be in the right mindset and walk in knowing like what you're trying to create. And then once you start doing that, it's like you notice things start sticking, or it did for me and the people I know who've experienced the work.
It's a lifestyle change.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
That's wonderful. So what would you say is probably, I imagine you've probably consulted with other people. What's some of the best business advice you've gotten for this concept?
Well, actually, that came right from my program, the Be It Before You See It. I think that's a huge one. That's really big. And then just, just believing in yourself, and you don't have to be perfect. Like, some of the things we talk about in the classes are, like people who've made it big, like an Oprah Winfrey. She's talked about her challenges in life. She was always going up and down in her weight, and it's like she just went for it. She didn't wait to be perfect before she did it. It's like most of us, look at Michael Jackson. Everybody out there has challenges, but the people that are successful, aren't perfect. It's like they just went for what they want, and that's what we just have to know. Just go for what you want,
That's great. We see that a lot here too. People think that they have to have like this perfect product, like when they make their podcast or like they make their video for their YouTube or whatever it is, right? Just make it.
Yep.
And then fine tune as you go, because it's a constant process.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So once again, as we kind of, wind down here, how can people find you? We'll do it one more time.
Yes, I know, it's a mouthful. So it's Abundant Transformations LLC.com. And again, once you go on that page, I have a bunch of different pages. Feel free to peruse. And at the bottom, there's I would love for you to subscribe to my newsletter. I have a quarterly newsletter that goes out, and then any new events or things coming up, I'll be sending through that. And then the social media links are at the bottom as well.
Perfect.
Yes.
Anything else you'd like our listeners to hear before we sign off?
I don't think so. I'm just so appreciative, and hopefully I'll see some people. It's super fun. It's really exciting to just stop and concentrate on yourself. It's like we all get caught up, and there's so much to do, and we're so busy, and so it's like once you actually stop, and it's almost like being a kid again. It's like, what is it that I want? Like, oh yay, this is fun. So I would just say to try it, because I think they'll be pleasantly surprised.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Let's hold that book up one more time for our viewers.
Oh, actually, and I was going to do, for anybody watching the podcast, if they wanted to do the course, I was going to do a coupon. So if you, go through, you can find the course on my page. And if you, in the coupon code, put Let's Talk Business, I will do a 50% off discount for the course.
Ooh, yes. You heard it here, folks. And the book is called Mama
Mindset Mastery, Igniting Your Superconscious Swagger. And this is available on Amazon. On my website, there's a link to the Amazon too.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And those who are just listening, the cover is beautiful. It's got this blue and pink coloring with a cloud. It's perfect. It's a really well created cover.
Thank you.
And so I guess that's all we have time for today, Amanda. Thank you so much for stopping in today to talk with us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And we wish you luck. If there's anything we can help you with, just let us know.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you. And that's all we got time for today on LTV. Let's talk business, and we'll see you in the next one. See you, folks.